When you lose your title of husband, your kids, they look at you differently, and your bank account is utterly gutted, you face a brutal question. Who are you now? Many men, they go to war with themselves after divorce, or they go to war with everyone around them. But there's a secret third way that we're going to go through in this video that separates the men from the boys. A man without a mission will very often go to war with himself or go to war with his family. This taps into the post-divorce identity crisis, where men lose their primary mission of husband and provider, and they either self-destruct or they lash out. Friedrich Nietzsche was a philosopher, a German philosopher from the 1800s, that proposed under peaceful conditions, a warlike man goes to war upon himself. Nietzsche believed that some people are inherently driven by a need for struggle, challenge, and purpose. And if external circumstances provide a lack of these, such individuals may turn their inner drive upon themselves and their intensity inward, which would lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and possibly even depression, maybe internal conflict or self-sabotage, rather than finding constructive outlets for their energy. While Nietzsche doesn't exactly mention war with his family, the idea that a lack of external purpose can lead to inner turmoil and possibly manifest in negative ways. Even within personal relationships, there can be seen an extension of this concept. Every great warrior has faced his darkest moment inside the cave. I mean, even Star Wars used this theme in a couple of its movies, where the protagonist has to fight the dark side or seek out a purpose inside the cave. You know, guys, there is really kind of like a challenge with us when we've gone through a divorce as a major life turmoil, that without a purpose, men can turn their energy, oftentimes destructive energy, inward towards, say, alcohol or endless scrolling, isolation, or even revenge fantasies. Really, one of the biggest challenges right now is choosing to fight for yourself and not against yourself. You know, after my separation, there were so many moments that after work, I just wanted to go home, get in bed, pull the blinds, and just get in bed and sleep for the rest of the day instead of doing something productive. Or there were times where I would wake up in the morning and literally sit on the side of the bed and say, how in the heck did I get here? Like, I woke up alone and my whole life is different. What were the choices that led me here? And you know, really, I was kind of like in shock for so many weeks, just sitting on the side of the bed when I woke up, just trying to figure out what happened. You may be going through an external war where you have to protect what really matters. Going back to the earlier statements about being self-destructive, and we have to come to the conclusion that real strength, it protects, it doesn't destroy. In our new mission, it could become preserving relationships and dignity, not destroying relationships, not winning battles. You know, battles like picking fights with your ex or alienating your kids, burning bridges, weaponizing the legal system, social media attacks, or even friend manipulation. How much energy do we put into winning the divorce when maybe the biggest need is healing? I'm going to offer you guys a challenge, especially you dads. Your kids and family, they need to see a man who can lose everything and still rise with honor. I realized after about a year of being single that how I handled loss kind of defines my legacy. I spent a lot of time in my apartment, necessary time alone in my apartment, just rolling things through my head, trying to figure out how to be alone without needing constant companionship, trying to figure out how to be inside my mind and deal with my emotions at a depth, not just a surface level. And the alone time helped me evaluate who I am and also who I'd become and who I wanted to be. That was really important time, who I wanted to be, and not just be someone who is recovering or suffering or licking his wounds, but what's the next chapter? So I think the alone time really helped me to pivot quicker. I think it made a difference having the freedom and the choice how I spent my time, but I could choose to go deep in my process. I really did feel like I was alone in the desert for several months. But looking back, it was a big time growth opportunity. Maybe you're going through the desert and it sucks for you. I really hate it for you because I've been there. But can you use this as a pivot or a growth opportunity to evaluate yourself and see what are things that you can do differently? What are the choices you want to make now that you have all the freedoms that you didn't have before and you don't have some of the responsibilities? I think looking back, the desert wasn't like a punishment, it was more like a preparation. The desert of self growth, it requires facing the emptiness, not filling it with media, not filling it with outside voices, not filling it with constant activities. The painful growth period is forging you into someone you were always meant to be. Throwing yourself into work, gym obsessions, or serial dating, I guess, aren't inherently bad, but they do become almost escapes from the real work that's required. And if you date long enough and get out there and talk to enough women, they're like, oh, I don't know if you've done the work. You really need to do the work, or I've done the work. And there's something to it. That's kind of what they mean. Is if you haven't done the work and face some of your demons in the quiet places and really work through, maybe some of your issues, maybe some of your history. What do you want to do with your life? Where were you? Where are you going? What are you becoming? And what if everything you lost is kind of making space for new growth, new challenges, new opportunity, a new you, space for something better? And as an example, I decided to take 4 months to train for a Spartan race, a 10K. Am I in shape for that? No way, man. But I figured in 4 months I can run 6.4 miles and go through some obstacles and hopefully not have a heart attack. But that was my personal challenge to, in my late 50s, decide, hey, I'm going to do something hard. I'm going to work on something several times a week. I'm going to work out and I'm going to make a goal. 4 months was a reasonable goal. Is there an opportunity for you to learn a new skill at work? Is there an opportunity for you to learn a new role at work and pivot there and bring in some new growth in your life? Are you able to grab a hold of and work on that hobby that you always thought about doing that would kind of be cool, but you didn't have time because you had a family? Or you want to learn how to fish and actually catch fish instead of drowning worms? Getting out there, getting amongst the people, in forging new friendships, forging new relationships, but getting new life and new growth in your life. Another example is I'm doing a YouTube channel. My goodness. I mean, what's up with that? But I found it's something that gives me a chance to help other people, hopefully. It gives me a chance to be creative, to maybe make an impact. But I thought, what a cool thing. I can be a YouTube creator. It's basically free, and I enjoy it. Being creative helps stress. It helps liberate anxieties. Guys, somehow you got to realize the same fire that freaking burned down your life can also be the fire that's forging an incredible you, an incredibly strong you, an incredibly powerful you. Don't lose this opportunity and fall asleep on it. It's important that you grab a hold of a new you, of a new purpose. You get to choose, just like it's on my thumbnail. Is this a mission or is this madness? I hope everyone here going through divorce, separation, big life changes, that you choose to go from survival mode to warrior mode. What are you going to be a warrior about? What is your new mission? Your new mission of self-improvement, your new mission of helping others, your new mission of finding that you have time to explore new opportunities. That's the mission I'm talking about. Instead of going to war with yourself, hey, I know you're going through the pain, but I want to call you to a higher potential. Now, if you appreciate this video, appreciate the content I'm developing, it'd be cool if you can do like and subscribe and all that stuff down below. I would appreciate it. Until next time, this is Glenn saying, carry on and don't go to war with yourself.